Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is video 4 for the CT90 conversion project. I got a front end off of I believe it was an early 1985 CR125 front end, and I got it real cheap, so I chose to use that rather than the stock CT90 front end. The setup over here, this triple clamp on the left hand side, is the stock CT90. These are 27 millimeter, these are 35 millimeter. So the CR125 front end is a lot beefier and not a lot of added weight for the 35 millimeter shocks. So chose to go that route. It'll be a beefier front suspension and a lot more travel. Problem with the CT110s, they notoriously bottom out with the extra travel of the CR125 front end on this light of a bike. I don't think front travel will ever be an issue. The way I went about doing this was I disassembled the front end of the CR125 as well as the CT90, and I mounted the triple clamp in the lathe and sheared off the weld that was there. Enough to where I could knock the triple clamp off. This is the stub axle. The reason why I had to take this off, because this as it was on the CR125 was too short to make the steering system work. So what I did was I had another CT90 triple clamp that came from an earlier model. I completely gutted that and took the steering spindle out of that. Use this as a bushing, so I bored the inner diameter of this so the new shaft, which is thinner in diameter, was able to fit inside. Once I got that together, this was a press fit of the bushing to the donor spindle, and then I heated this in the oven, froze the spindle, pushed them together, pounded them together more like, and then welded the end. So this setup is as good or better than the factory setup. Included with the conversion was a little spacer to make sure that the turn works from lock to lock, and all. Some of the geometry matched up a little bit differently, but for all intent and purpose, this is going to be an excellent front end conversion. I am able to use the tapered roller bearings that was originally designed for the CT90. So the conversion will be very simple. I'll gain the added travel. I'll gain the better suspension that won't bottom out. I'll also gain disc brakes for the front, which will be a very nice feature. I hunted around a little bit, and on eBay I was able to find the front rotor, and I got one of those coming, and the brake pads. So as soon as I get to a point where I could paint this machine and install the front strut that will support the fuel tank and all that good stuff, once I get that, I could shoot this, and we'll be moving forward. This conversion was actually done about a week ago. I just didn't film it, and thought that this might be a good time to introduce it while I'm still messing around with the other stuff that isn't really interesting. I don't know if this is interesting or not, but you know, this is what I did. Just so you guys can see what's going on here. This is the stock one. This is my monstrosity. There will be one other part to the front end, and I'll be making a bushing that basically takes up the clearance between the upper triple clamp and the new spindle. But I'll include that in a video while I machine that, so maybe that'll be interesting to somebody. But for now, this is the front end, how the triple clamp was welded up. For those interested, I used a stainless steel rod on the outside of this just because I did not know the composition of the triple clamp. It is a steel. Obviously they welded it before, but rather than chase my tail trying to figure it out, I just used some E312 and buzzed it up. And anyways, it worked out quite well. And hopefully there'll be more interesting stuff in the next video. Thanks for watching.